The sky cracked with thunder the moment the Pridelands realized their greatest enemy was not a stranger from the Outlands. Not a pack of hyenas, not a starving drought, but their own prince. And as lightning burnt across the clouds, Copa stood on Pride Rock with eyes glowing like fire, whispering a promise that made the savannah tremble. The weak would kneel, the strong would rule, and the age of mercy was over. No one moved at first. The wind died. Even the birds fell silent. The grass bowed, as if afraid. Below the cliff, the lion guards stared up in disbelief, unable to accept what they were seeing. Kion felt his chest tighten, because he knew the voice speaking from Pride Rock was not the brother he had laughed with, not the prince who once protected cubs from a storm, not the lion who promised to rule with kindness. Something darker had taken root inside Copa, and tonight it had grown strong enough to change history. "Brother," Kion called, stepping forward slowly, careful, gentle, like approaching a wounded lion. "This isn't you. Come down. We can fix this together." Copa's laugh echoed like thunder. "Fix it? Sure. You mean hide behind rules while enemies grow stronger? You mean protect creatures who betray us? I have seen the truth. Kion, mercy is weakness. Fear is power." Behind Kion, the lion guard shifted nervously. Fuli's tail flicked like lightning, ready to strike. Bunga whispered, unbengaliable. "What happened to him?" Besh looked heartbroken, and Ono circled above, searching for hope where none seemed to exist. The truth had begun weeks earlier, when Copa had wandered beyond the Pridelands, chasing rumors of a hidden canyon filled with ancient power. He found more than legends. He found whispers in the dark. Voices that promised strength. Voices that said he was meant to rule, meant to conquer, meant to become something greater than a king. At first, he resisted. He remembered the lessons of Simba about balance and love. He remembered laughing with Kion. He remembered helping lost animals find their homes. But the voices showed him visions, droughts, destroying crops, enemies invading borders, lions starving because their king hesitated. "You can stop this," the voices said. "Take control. Rule with fear. We'll end weakness forever." Night after night, doubt grew. Pride turned into anger. Anger turned into hunger. And hunger turned into something that swallowed the prince whole. Now Copa stood on Pride Rock, surrounded by storm clouds that rolled like drums of war. "The Pridelands will change," he said. "No more softness. No more forgiveness. Only strength." Kion climbed the path toward him, step by step. His friends followed, hearts pounding. "Strength without heart destroys kingdoms," Kion said quietly. "You taught me that once." For one moment, Copa's eyes flickered. A memory tried to break through. Two cubs racing through tall grass. A promise under the stars. But the shadow tightened its grip. "Enough." Copa roared. "Slut!" The roar shook the mountain. Lightning split the sky. Animals scattered below. Fear spread like fire. The first battle began not with claws, but with choices. Copa ordered the borders closed. Waterholes guarded. Food stored for lions only. The Pridelands, once full of laughter, filled with silence. Animals whispered that their prince had become the Shadow King, Splee. The roar that split the dawn was not a roar of victory, not a roar of rage, but a roar of pain so deep it shook the stones of Pride Rock. And in that moment, the Pridelands understood that the final battle would not be fought with claws or teeth, but inside the heart of Copa, where the Shadow King and the true prince were tearing each other apart for the same crown. The storm had not left the sky. Storm clouds hung heavy, turning morning into dusk. Animals watched from far below, afraid to move, afraid to hope. They had seen rulers rise and fall, but never had they seen a prince become the danger they feared. Yet somewhere inside Copa's burning eyes, A flicker of the lion he used to be still fought to breathe. Kion climbed the path slowly, paws steady, heart shaking. The lion guard followed behind him, not as soldiers, but as friends who refused to abandon someone they loved. Fuli kept her gaze sharp. Bunga whispered brave nonsense to hide his fear. Besht breathed deeply to stay calm, and Ono watched every move, ready to guide them if danger struck. Copa Kion called softly, "This ends today." Copa turned slowly. His mane was wild, his eyes heavy with sleepless nights. "Yes," he said, "it ends with my victory." Lightning flashed, and shadows twisted around his paws like living smoke. "You don't want this," Kion answered. "You wanted to protect the Pride Lands. You wanted to make them proud. You don't want to rule a land that fears you." "I want strength," Copa roared. "I want a kingdom that never falls. Mercy makes us weak. Kindness makes us blind. I will build a land that obeys, not questions." Below, animals cried quietly. The wind carried their fear. Kion looked at him with tears he didn't hide. A king who rules by fear stands alone. For a moment, Copa said nothing. The shadow whispered louder, showing him visions of enemies attacking, drought killing cubs, betrayal destroying families. It told him love was a lie. It told him power was safety. Then another voice rose. A memory. Two cubs racing under golden light. Laughter. Promise. Family. Copa's claws dug into the stone. "Stop," he whispered, but he didn't know who he was speaking to. The shadow roared inside him. "Destroy them! Prove you are king!" Copa leapt forward. The lion guard didn't attack. They held their ground. Fuli dodged his strike without clawing back. Bunga stood in front of Kion, shaking but brave. Besht blocked the path with gentle strength. Ono called directions so no one would be hurt. "Why won't you fight me?" Copa shouted. "Because you are not our enemy," Kion said. "You are our family." Those words cut deeper than claws. Copa staggered. The shadow screamed louder. Ashenim, a throne of bones, a kingdom silent and obedient. It showed him victory without laughter. He saw himself sitting alone, and suddenly, power looked cold. "Leave me," Copa cried. "No," Kion said softly. "I will not leave you in darkness." The wind rose. The storm spun. Through shadow grew, huge, wrapping around Copa like chains of night. "Choose," it hissed. "Crown or love? Power or family?" Copa trembled. Every lesson from Simba echoed in his memory. Every laugh with Kion. Every game with the guard. Every promise to protect the weak. He fell to his knees. I don't want to be alone," he whispered. The shadow shrieked. Light broke through the clouds. Kion stepped forward and touched his shoulder. "Then don't be." For 1 second, Copa saw clearly. Not enemies. Not weaknesses. Just friends who never gave up on him. He roared not with anger, but with truth. The shadow cracked. It fought back, twisting his thoughts, reminding him of his fear, his doubt, his hunger for control. But now, he was not alone. The lion guard stood beside him. The Pride Lands watched with hope. And inside, the real prince stood up. The shadow exploded into smoke and vanished into the wind. Silence fell. The storm cleared. Copa collapsed. Shaking, crying, Free Kion held him. The lion guard gathered close. Animals cheered below, tears turning into joy. The prince who became the Shadow King had come back. Holes. He helped rebuild water holes. Listen. Day after day, he earned forgiveness. Some still feared him. Some still doubted him. He accepted it. True kings do not demand love. They earn it. Months passed. 4. One evening, Copa and Kion stood on Pride Rock together, watching a peaceful sunset. Because you chose love. Copa nodded. Power without heart is darkness. The Pride Lands slept in safety. And the prince who once became the Shadow King learned the greatest truth a ruler can ever learn. The strongest crown is not made of gold or fear, but of courage, mercy, and the friends who refuse to let you fall.